You've just downloaded a new mod, shared and hyped by your favorite YouTubers. You are excited to see what does that modification add to the game. Finally, you boot it up. At this moment, you're not aware of a mistake you've made. Instead, you carry on to checking its features. And speaking of features, there's literally none. This mod is a simple, low-effort meme, but we'll talk about that in a second. Few days pass and you see your skin is changed. In some cases, you might even find yourself being unable to log into your account as the password has been changed. I don't know if something like that has happened, but for the sake of it, imagine seeing your account up for sale on a local online market. All of that just to see retextured flowers and an epilepsy-inducing main menu. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, you might find this video interesting, as today I'll tell you a story of Polish modification that stole hundreds of Minecraft accounts. Before we go any further, I need to make one thing clear. Information presented today are based heavily on a video made by Kostka. If you speak Polish, I recommend you watching his video first, as I'm not going to dive that deep into the whole backstory and lore, if you will. I will focus more on the technical side of it without boring you with details about 2012 state of Polish Minecraft YouTube scene. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. The mod in question is called Minecash. Its name might suggest it was meant to help users make money, but from the perspective of how it worked under the surface, it rather helped its creators make a quick buck. Sadly, I wasn't keen on Polish Minecraft scene back in the days. I had been watching JJ Joker exclusively, thus many YouTube dramas went over my head. Same case was with the Minecash drama, so I'm not able to tell you how it was exactly. From what I found in Kostka's comment section, this mod might have been promoted under a premise of allowing players to make money while playing the game, like some sort of a crypto miner, or simply being a mod that helped users livestream the game or record Minecraft videos. At that time, making money off of YouTube content was a highly controversial topic, and many people got cancelled by admitting to it. You'll see in a second how this mod makes fun of that aspect, seemingly mocking the video creators for using Minecraft as a cash cow. User Sarikus mentioned under the Kostka's video that the authors and collaborating YouTubers used their Minecraft server as means of promoting the modification. From what he says, the server would have been accessible only to people logging in using Minecash, and the server itself would allow players to partake in some form of a minigame lotteries involving real-life money. We'll check if something like that is possible by digging through the code. What that mod did best was stealing users' Minecraft accounts. This mod would decrypt the last login file in your Minecraft folder and upload its content to a remote server, effectively stealing your username and password. Back in the days when the drama was very fresh, many people voiced their concerns about a keylogger embedded into Minecash. Up to this day, you can read the posts about allegedly stolen PayPal accounts, Steam accounts, and much more. Thankfully, the mod was much less advanced, limiting itself only to Minecraft account credentials. It's also worth noting that this modification was considered a lost media for a long time. Only recently, after the previously mentioned Polish YouTuber Kostka made a video highlighting the scam, an anonymous user contacted him and provided him with the original Minecash jar file. The story of finding the mod file is interesting on its own. After the drama broke out, so around the end of 2012, someone decided to upload the suspicious file to VirusTotal, a popular online service used for analyzing suspicious files amongst other things. That left a valuable trace, as the previously analyzed files are stored on VirusTotal servers. The question now was, how to retrieve that file? There is an option for that, but sadly it requires special privileges, a premium API access. This is not something up for an average Joe to get. However, taking Kostka's video popularity into account, it's not that surprising that finally the file has been obtained. Details about the whole process are not entirely known, whether that anonymous user had those privileges themselves or asked someone else for a favor. What's most important is, thanks to Kostka's video, we now have access to original Minecash jar file. But analyzing the mod is not as simple as throwing it into a Minecraft coder pack, decompiling, deobfuscating, and having a nice, readable code. The authors of the mod were not particularly smart, however they were smart enough to obfuscate the code in a different way compared to Minecraft. If you don't know what code obfuscation is, just look at those two code samples. They are functionally identical, but the one on the left is unintelligible. Class names, fields, methods were all replaced by nonsensical yet perfectly valid and consistent names. I also assume Minecash was obfuscated at the bytecode level, as the original decompiled code contained keywords names like if, try and go to, making it even harder to analyze. All that means is the authors really didn't want us to look into it, making it as hard as possible to reverse engineer. Thankfully, I've upped my reverse engineering game since the last video and made a crude but quite effective bytecode matching tool. With it, I was able to map the Minecash source code to deobfuscated Minecraft code, obtaining much more readable result. With that out of the way, let's address the main bad actor here, a password grabber. It sits quietly, hidden in the j8.java file, which corresponds to GUI main menu in the deobfuscated version. This class is responsible for the main menu, as the name suggests, that is, the screen you see after booting up Minecraft. In Minecash, the rotating panorama picture has been sped up dramatically, also adding a color shift effect. If you're sensitive to flashing images, I advise you to look away for a few seconds. Okay, you can look back, there will be no more flashes. Apart from that epileptic nightmare, the copyright text has been changed, and for the sake of YouTube, I'm not going to show it. All I can say is, it's a title of infamous book, quite similar to the name of the game we're talking about. The second part is a name of a job that's all about pushing air into a molten glass bubble. It's an obvious reference to very popular at that time Polish YouTuber called Blowek, later Minecraft Blow. I think you've got the puzzle exactly right. The main menu button's text has been changed accordingly. I'm not going to dive deeper into that. It is what it is. As I've said a minute ago, the mod mocks streamers and YouTubers, both with its name and the changed titles. But let's get back to the code. Being still in the GUI main menu file, we found suspicious, obfuscated methods. The first one seems to be responsible for locating users.minecraft directory. Another one looks like it's opening an URL connection, returning the data output stream to which one can write the data and send it to the specified address. Finally, we arrive at the method D. This is where all the fun stuff happens. I think now is a good time to explain the whole deal with lastlogin file. You see, when you log into the game with your launcher, it gives you an option to remember the credentials, that is the login and password. Remembering means storing when talking about computers, but of course storing it as plain text is not a good idea, even if the file was meant to sit silently on your hard drive, not being uploaded to a server or some kind of cloud storage. Mojang knew that and implemented a simple method of securing your login details by encrypting them and only then storing them in a file. Problem is, the key used for encrypting it is entirely deterministic. It's composed of 8 pseudo-random bytes, and despite pseudo-random sounding secure, it really is not. The random number generator used for that task is preset with this value, so given that exact initial condition, it always generates the same string of 8 random bytes. Of course, when an unwanted visitor peeks into your file, they are going to see seemingly meaningless string of characters, but the main point is, this string of characters is easily reversible back into exact login and password you've used in the launcher. If you know anything about encryption or know Java, you might be wondering, why am I calling those 8 bytes a key when in reality a key is just the bytes of a phrase password file? Well, you're right, this pseudo-random array of bytes is not even a key. It's an encryption algorithm parameter specification, but the key point is both those values, that is the actual key and the parameter specification, need to be exactly the same as they were for encrypting the file. AES algorithm is symmetrical, meaning you can encrypt and decrypt the message using the same key as long as the parameters are identical on both sides of the process. So, since we know how the initial conditions are constructed during encryption, we can replicate that to decipher the contents of lastlogin. This is exactly what's happening in this example. Once the login and password are back to plain text, they are sent to the previously opened URL connection, directly to the author's server. Is it smart? Yeah, I can't disagree. Did the mod authors figure it out for themselves? Well, I highly doubt it, as this method was well known months before Minecash was even a thing. So all they had to do was piece together the code, make the mod seem even slightly credible, and finally release it to the public and promote it, which they did. What about the results of that smart move? To change the password, one needs an access to the email account associated with the Minecraft account. Taking the mod's main target into consideration, that is young kids, it's safe to assume it wasn't very hard to gain access to their emails using the same passwords used for Minecraft. We've all been there. Nobody took cybersecurity that seriously back in the days. It makes it very likely that the authors were able to steal a lot of Minecraft accounts, then probably selling them for a few quids. In this forum post we see exactly that. This at that time young person Minecraft account has been taken control of, but thankfully they were able to recover it. The only damage done in this case was the thieves changing their skin. But it's not hard to imagine cases much more serious than that. People losing access to their game completely. I remember back in the days, $25 for a video game was a lot of money. My parents weren't so keen on buying it for me, thus I'd be devastated if someone were to steal my account. Good thing is, my Minecraft account is long gone. I have lost access to my email associated with it due to a Steam break-in. Later, during the big Mojang account migration, I was unable to complete it, effectively losing access to the game. Very sad, I know, but what can I say? Just Mojang Microsoft thingy, I guess. Okay, so now knowing the core mechanism of that mod, let's snoop around in the files to see if there's anything more. At the beginning, I've mentioned this mod supposedly allowed joining the exclusive Minecash only server with minigames and lotteries. I assume there would be some kind of mechanism used to communicate to a server that we are in fact using Minecash and not just regular Minecraft client. Our best bet to find it is in the network code. Let's take a look at the handshake then. In networking, the handshake occurs when the connection is established. In the case of Minecraft, it's when the client successfully joins the server. In my opinion, this would be the best place to send some additional information, but it's not happening. Just to be sure, I've checked still not the obfuscated packet classes, but hadn't found anything out of the ordinary. The conclusion is quite disappointing. This mod would not provide any additional server access to its users. It was just a password grabber packed with a low-effort, edgy meme content and retextured flowers. And with that out of the way, I'd like to wrap things up. The moral of this story: treat mods with caution. In the previous video, I've shown you how smart hackers could sneak Herobrine into your game without you even noticing. That might have sounded like an innocent joke to scare the children, but in this instance a malicious modification was used to steal accounts. What I want you to understand is that mods are just pieces of code being executed on your PC. There is no separation between the game and your private files. A mod can run arbitrary Java code and communicate with outside world, like we've seen in the example presented in this video. So please, think twice before you install anything from the internet, and don't underestimate the power and sneakiness of bad people. If you are waiting for the chunk glitch analysis, I'm happy to announce that I'm in the middle of investigating it. So far, I wasn't able to recreate the JJ Joker tower glitch, but I believe I'm onto something. I also created a Discord server, so if you are interested in stuff I'm presenting here on my channel, feel free to join. The invite link is in the description. In the meantime, stay safe out there and let me see you in the next video.